The Walnut Creek Extension District, a division of K-State Research and Extension, covering Rush, Ness, and Lane counties. Here's Insight with Extension.
'Tis the season to fill a freezer. Fairs are mostly in the past, but now the lambs, hogs, goats, and cattle are making their way to area lockers for processing. State Fair is a short month away, and there will be another wave of livestock to be dispersed. While the cost of proteins, especially beef, is higher than in recent years, there is a way to manage those expenses. Buy local, process locally, and fill your freezer. Yes, the initial cost is high, but the per pound costs are generally lower than retail prices, especially for steaks, brisket, and bacon, to name a few. On the beef side, we would typically expect a carcass weight to yield about 62 to 64% of the live weight. From there, we will put about 60 to 65% of the carcass into the freezer. So if we start with a 1,400 pound steer, figure a 62% dressing weight, and another 62% into the freezer, we would expect to have about 540 pounds of meat. Currently, the market for live cattle is about $235 a pound, which puts the initial price at $3,290. Processing charges will add at least another $1 per pound to the carcass weight, or in this case, about $870. Usually, these charges are broken down into kill charge, a per pound processing amount, and the additional charges for specialty cuts like jerky, beef sticks or sausages, tenderizing and aging, or etc. Each locker operates differently, so you can ask about the charges when exploring the various options that each can cut, smoke, slice, or flavor. There will typically be add-ons for boxes or sacks or disposals. For my example, I am roughly figuring an all-in cost of about $4,160 on the entire beef. Ordering sides or quarters will then divide that number by the corresponding fraction. Smaller animals will also reduce the amount significantly. It is a big investment, but when we divide it by the pounds of meat that it yields, we get to about $7.70 per pound, or about a third the current price of retail steaks. It's cheaper on roast too, and depending on the leanness of the hamburger, it is at or slightly higher. We can look at hogs, sheep, and goats the same way. For pigs, the dressing percentage is 70% and another 70% into the freezer. So a pig that weighs 275 pounds hangs a carcass that is nearly 190 pounds. That pig is worth about $1 a pound live. Processing again is roughly another $190, and putting the total cost of this demonstration at $465 for the entire hog, and a price per pound of meat into the freezer at about $3.50. There's 135 pounds of pork, and of all the species, this is arguably about the best financial option. Sheep and goats will yield a carcass of about 55%, and around 70% of that goes into packaging, so a lamb that weighs 130 pounds would generally yield 50 pounds of meat, and a goat that weighs 75 pounds would typically make about 30 pounds of meat. Again, these are very broad averages with lots of variables. K-State has publications that can also help with deciphering the desired cuts and what options exist from each wholesale cut. The first time working through these options can be daunting, but there are many options for help or advice. Give us a call, send us a text, or an email. We're happy to help.
Insight with Extension on Thunder Country 93.5.